Man-Machine Profiles, Episode 3, The Zorin Soul. Developed in the year Universal Century 110, based on technical schematics from Char Aznable's personal mobile suit, the MSN-04 the RX-110 Zorin Soul was originally a mobile suit constructed by the engineering minds at Anaheim Electronics. The unit never saw combat, however, as the unit's creation and developmental history has been both a largely kept secret and somewhat has been forgotten over the years since its inception. Regardless, the Zorin Soul is a powerhouse of a mobile suit for its time, being one of the units that Anaheim had constructed in and around the time of the Federation's own mobile suit development project, Project Formula. However, due to Anaheim's mistreatment and loss over its monopoly after the Laplace crisis in UC 0096, the Zorin Soul prototypes would be mothballed after their completion, it would seem. Over the subsequent decades, mobile suit technology would begin to shift in principle and eventually devolve into the man-machines we would see in the UC 200s, with Xeon-inspired mobile suits becoming largely out of fashion over the course of the century. However, after the shift to man-machine technology in the UC 180s and 90s, the Zorin Soul would be surprisingly brought back from storage and taken into the custody of Metatron, as it was seen as the most likely candidate to see use in their own militia forces. Once acquired from storage, it would see extensive retrofitting and modifications to see if the unit would be worthy of serving as Metatron's next-generation machine and the potential commander unit for its up-and-coming leader, Avaranchi Char, the last living heir to Char Aznable and the last living hope for the Spacenoids and their desires for independence, just as Anaheim always hoped for the unit in the days of Mars Xeon's clandestine operations. It is unknown if this unit was intended to be used by them, but the Mars Xeon forces are largely one of the only remaining major factions of Xeon remnants that existed at the time of the Zorin Soul's creation. However, this hope to upgrade the suit would largely turn to tragedy, as the Manhunters would launch a raid on the Metatron's central manufacturing plant, where the unit and the plans for its mass production would be dashed away. The man-machine that would serve Avaranchi would eventually become the specially commissioned unit of the Gaia Gear Alpha, with its development later growing that suit being the future of Metatron's arsenal, leading to the sidelining of the Zorin Soul out of necessity for more advanced hardware. Luckily, a single unit would survive the Manhunter's takeover, one of the original Anaheim Zorin Soul prototypes that Metatron had been making modifications to before the Manhunter's raid. This unit would be taken back to the Metatron fleet, where its retrofits would be ultimately completed, resulting in the RX-110 refined Zorin Soul. The unit now serves as a commander unit amongst the Metatron forces, leading their other man-machines, their standard DOCHADI-series of man-machines, into battle alongside the Gaia Gear Alpha, a role that most would see as unbefitting a suit with such a pedigree, but the Zorin Soul and its subsequent pilots pushed the suit to its sheer limits, with the unit serving as a valiant commander and squad leader unit during the entirety of Metatron's conflict with the Manhunters. These accomplishments would show the world that even ancient mobile suits were capable of defeating the monsters like the newest models of man-machine and their high-end pieces of machinery integrated within them, weapons and equipment. The Zorin Soul, in terms of weapons, may at first come off as lacking. However, the unit has a surprising amount of weapons concealed within its body. 2 50-caliber Vulcan guns built into its head, a specialized variable range beam rifle known as the PAC-34A electrochemical beam rifle. The PAC-34 is a beam rifle that utilizes a specially concocted Minovsky particle plasma-based gel as the source for its ammunition, the weapon effectively acting as a pressurized dual-induction beam plasma launcher. 2 beam sabers concealed in slots within the outer forearms, and the unit's own personal weapons, that being 5 smaller funnels that are built into the unit's skirt armor and shield. These smaller funnels transform into miniature beam-emitting fin funnels. However, these units cannot be used unless the Zorin Soul's pilot has the proper training, as the machine requires the use of a Psychomu to make use of them. The Zorin Soul has a Psychomu, however, the unit has only been known to allow for its funnels to work unless the user is a true and experienced new type, unfortunately diminishing the Zorin Soul's overall combat effectiveness because of this flaw. The refined Zorin Soul has had many pilots over its lifetime, the first major one being Avaranchi Char, who piloted it temporarily during his escape from the Hellas colony and the retaken Metatron factory facility. The second being Metatron Lieutenant Kellan Mead, and then later on was given to Private Messer Met, who gave the unit a new red and white paint job, to commemorate the loss of one of their allies after one of the Metatron's key battles against the Manhunters in the closing days of the war, the Zorin Soul. It may seem old and its history tragic, but this Goliath is no pushover. Its sheer technology and engineering superiority still show many of us that even 90-year-old mobile suits still have what it takes in this age of de-evolution and overpowering technological degeneracy and degradation. A suit that, even to this day, fights for freedom with the shining light of Zeon overhead. The Zorin Soul, last son of Sazabi and Zeon's soaring soul. Hey guys, Gaia Guys here. Just wanted to add this part at the end as a little apology as to a little goof I made in one of my previous videos. When I was doing my research, I saw a post someone made regarding the Zorin Soul's cameo in Gundam F90 Fastest Formula. You see, I'm only getting into Fastest Formula as of now, and it turns out when it comes to the mobile suit that the post was referring to, I didn't read the actual panels that the post was referring to. I thought that this was the Zorin Soul prototype. I was very wrong. Turns out the original Gaia Gear Zorin Soul makes its first appearance on the same page, but on a tiny little computer monitor as a data file. I'm sorry if I caused any confusion, cause now I know that this thing is its own mobile suit. Side note, I had no clue that the MSA-120 was a thing. My bad, guys. I'm sorry if I misled you guys with my tidbits of lore that I was trying to put together. The cool thing, though, is the fact that the Fastest Formula Zorin Soul we see in the story is just the same one as in Gaia Gear. So I'm glad that the thing really did get its chance to be shown in its original form, like the one we see in Gaia Gear. But once again, I'm sorry for the little goof on my end when it comes to this guy's lore, at least in the original video. Anyways, I hope you liked this video on the Zorin Soul, and I hope you check out the rest of my videos. We're almost halfway to 50 subs, and it makes me happy to see that so many of you are coming over here to check out what Gaia Gear has to offer. Remember to like, comment, and share this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!